film begins in 1975. We see a garden where some children are playing. Among them is a girl named Laura, who is very happy to be adopted. The scene then cuts to a 20-year-old woman. We now see Laura as an adult, who is married and has a son. Together with her husband, Laura has bought the same orphanage where she lived as a child. Her dream is to adopt many children so they do not feel lonely, and her husband supports her in this plan. While moving into the house, her son Simon becomes very sad, so Laura takes him and her husband for a walk by the sea. She and her husband start talking. Meanwhile, Simon goes inside a nearby cave. He stays there for a long time. Laura and her husband worry when they cannot find Simon. They call out to him. He comes out and says he was playing with a child inside. He has made a new friend named Tomás. Laura ignores this and takes him home. Simon, however, leaves many seashells on the path so Tomás can follow them to his house. Days pass, and with each passing day, Simon's behavior becomes very strange. He starts talking to unseen things every day. Laura and her husband notice this, but they think he just has imaginary friends. This means he is just making people up in his head. One day, Simon shows Laura a drawing of 6 children. One of them is wearing a mask. Simon says this child is Tomás, his first friend. He says they are all his friends and they live in the house with them. But Laura still ignores his words. Days pass, and on one stormy night, a woman named Benigna comes to her door. She says she is a social worker and has come to ask about Simon. From her words, we learn that Simon is not Laura's real son. He was adopted by Laura. He also has a sickness called HIV. The woman explains this very rudely, which makes Laura sad and angry. In her anger, she kicks the woman out of the house. Night falls, and Laura hears a noise from the coal shed outside. She goes outside and sees someone hiding there. Before she can catch them, the person escapes. We later find out it was a woman named Gina. The next morning, we see Simon playing a game. When Laura asks him about it, he says, "My friends taught me this game. In it, we must solve a few puzzles. Each puzzle helps solve the next one. And when we finish, we get a big reward. And do you know what I found? After solving the puzzles, I found these papers. They say, I am not your son. You adopted me and I have HIV. I am going to die soon." Laura is very sad, even though she takes great care of Simon. Almost all their money goes to buy Simon's medicine, and they are trying everything to cure him. Well, today she says nothing to Simon. A few days pass, and they throw a party. During the party, Simon speaks rudely to Laura again, and in her anger, Laura slaps him. Simon runs away. When Laura does not see Simon for a long time, she searches upstairs. She cannot find him anywhere. But then she sees the child Simon talked about, the masked boy named Tomás. Laura grabs his mask and tries to take it off. Suddenly, the boy pushes Laura into the bathroom, locks the door, and runs away. Laura makes a lot of noise. Many people come to help her. But when Laura asks them to find Simon, they search hard but find nothing. They even call the police. There is no sign of Simon. Laura goes down to the coal shed. There, some heavy iron pipes fall from her hands, and she carefully puts them back. But Simon is gone. Laura then goes into the cave where Simon first met Tomás. But he is not there either. All night, Laura hears noises behind her walls, but she cannot do anything. The police grow tired of searching, and an officer thinks Benigna kidnapped Simon. They find out Benigna is not a real social worker, and that she visited Laura to ask about Simon. They try very hard to find Benigna, but find no clues. Laura and her husband become very sad about their missing son, and 6 months pass like this. One day, while coming home, Laura sees a bad accident. A car hits a woman, and her jaw is completely broken. Laura realizes that this woman is Benigna, the main suspect in Simon's case. Because of this, the police search her house and find that Benigna worked at the same orphanage that Laura bought. Benigna also had a son named Tomás. Her child looked different. His face was deformed. That is why Tomás always wore a mask. But one day, the mean kids teased him and forced him to take off his mask. Tomás felt very ashamed of his face. He ran away and hid in the same cave we saw earlier. At night, big waves crashed into the cave, and Tomás drowned. Benigna even reported this to the police, but they did not punish the children because they were too young. When Laura learns of this, she visits a medium. This is a person who can talk to ghosts and spirits. She tells the medium everything about the orphanage, about Benigna and Tomás. Laura says, "I want to know what happened here after I left." Using her powers, the medium visits the house and sees everything from the past. She finds out a scary truth. To get revenge for her son, Benigna put poison in the children's food and then hid their bodies in the coal shed. While the building belonged to the government, Benigna felt safe. But when Laura bought the house, Benigna became scared of getting caught. That is why she broke into the shed that stormy night. She wanted to hide the evidence. Right now, Laura remembers a lock her son gave her during the puzzle game. She tests the lock everywhere. When she tries it on the shed door, it opens. Inside, she finds the children's bones. This scares her, and she calls the police. The police close off the area. The bodies of the children are finally taken away and buried. Laura's husband is very upset by this. He wants to leave right away, but Laura tells him to go. "I will stay and find out what happened to my son. Where has he gone?" After her husband leaves, Laura makes the orphanage look just like it did years ago. She tries everything to make the children's spirits visit her. She sets the dining table just like before. She places dolls on the chairs with their names. She sits and waits for hours, but they do not come. One day, Laura plays the game Simon used to play. Simon's imaginary friends play with her. When she starts the game, the children appear. The ghost children give her clues one by one. She solves them until she finally reaches a storage room. There, she finds a hole in the wall. A hidden door appears. When she uses her lock, the door opens. Inside, she sees her son, Simon. She is shocked to see him. Holding him close, she cries. She thinks Simon was sleeping here for 6 months, and because he was with spirits, he did not know how much time passed. She quickly tries to leave, but we see she is holding nothing but a blanket. The living Simon she saw was only a ghost or an illusion. She looks further and sees a child wearing a mask. She walks toward the child with fear, and when she takes off the mask, she realizes that this child is her own son, Simon. He died months ago, and his body has rotted. Only his bones are left. Now the movie shows a flashback explaining how Simon really died. On the day of the party, when Laura accidentally caused Simon's death, the spirits led Simon to this hidden room. When Laura came looking for him, Simon hid from her. But later, when he tried to leave, he could not get out. This was because heavy iron pipes Laura dropped earlier had blocked the door. He kept screaming and crying for help. Laura often heard noises from the walls, but she did not know it was her son. The poor boy became very tired, fell on the stairs, and died. Now, Laura goes back upstairs, holding her dead child. She takes off the necklace her husband gave her and leaves it on the floor. She is then seen holding many sleeping pills. She regrets not recognizing his voice and saving him. Feels that if her son is dead because of her mistake, she does not want to live anymore. So she swallows all the pills. The scene then cuts to Laura in the spirit world. She is now with her son and the ghost children in the same house. Simon asks her to stay and care for all of them. Laura happily agrees. At the end of the movie, Laura's husband attends a funeral for her and Simon. After that, he goes back to the house one last time. He finds the necklace on the floor. Suddenly, the door opens, and the man smiles. He knows that Laura's spirit opened the door for him. The movie then comes to an end. The film begins in 1975. We see a garden where some children are playing. Among them is a girl named Laura.